Hi guys, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's reading. We are going to do a reading on how can you ease this emotional wound from past relationships. So let's see what will show up as one of the wounds that might be significant for you and how we can have more ease with it, embrace it. So we have two piles to choose from, two options here, pile 1 and pile 2. I'll show the cards to you in a moment, but before that, take a few deep breaths, breathe out through your mouth, and let's center ourselves, setting the intention for the messages to come through for our highest good. So take a deep breath in and breathe out. I'm going to ring the singing bowl. All right. So we have, um, I'll take this later. So we have the first pile as no need to worry. This is the first pile. Then we have pile number 2 as forgiveness. Take your time, take a few deep breaths and see which one is it that you are drawn to. You're more than welcome to choose one or more piles, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose no need to worry, this is going to be your reading. I'll just ring the singing bowl once for you. All right. So we are going to use the archetype cards first to see what is like the general theme of this emotional wound that's coming up for you, pile 1. Take a deep breath in and breathe out through your mouth. Only take whatever empowers you and resonates with you. And if the reading is or the topic is a little too heavy for you, you're more than welcome to not watch it, watch something else, watch something lighter. Because I definitely get that this topic is a little heavy, but the more we are able to face our shadows, the easier, even if it's not easier, I would say the more we are able to embrace our own selves, right? And in its entirety, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful, everything. So let us see what is the general theme of the wound here. We are only going to take one card, and we have Samaritan. Light attribute says refines your capacity to help those who help those you would prefer to ignore. Wow. Isn't that interesting? And the shadow attribute is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So Samaritan and the color orange is actually reminding me of the sacral chakra, feeling secure in your expression, feeling secure in your emotions. Our sacral chakra, all about our emotions, our sensuality, our creative expression, right? And with the Samaritan, I do perceive that a lot of people here have worked really hard on, toning down, getting acquainted, and transmuting your people pleasing capacities. Because I do see that many of you might have done it to feel secure and safe when things were not stable for you, especially growing up. I do perceive that a lot of you had to put on an act just to keep yourself safe, and it is completely normal. So don't judge yourself for it, because all of us find one way or another to cope with reality, especially if growing up we've had a tough situation to face on an everyday basis, or a lot of significant traumatic or you know difficult situations. Specifically, I'm getting here this could a lot This could be a lot around expressing yourselves and expressing your emotions specifically. I wonder if some of you experienced having guilt, guilt tripping yourself in the sense that if someone else is suffering, am I allowed to be happy? I feel like a lot of you might have considered that question time and again, and must have been walking on eggshells a ma- for a major part of your life. So that is what I'm receiving here as the emotional wound, which is inhibition in expressing your joy specifically, but more so in expressing your emotions truly, gi- being unabashedly yourself is what I am receiving here. So we are going to look at the Haindl tarot for which I might look into the guidebook as well, and we are going to look at what is it that you have acknowledged and what is it that you could acknowledge around this emotional wound. What is it that you have acknowledged, pile one? Let's see. So I'm going to take these first, which is what you have acknowledged and what you could acknowledge. We'll look at that later. So interestingly enough, we have Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Before that, we have Eight of Swords. Chariot, again, being this person here, I remember reading this card recently in a reading. I mean, in one of the recent readings, and I remember this figure here reminding me of Jesus, and it connects very well with the Samaritan archetype as well. So, what have you acknowledged? We have Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups. So, for a lot of you, you've definitely been very honest with yourself and you have recognized how, you were acting out, or the way you were moving about in the world was coming from a defensive place, and you were being defensive because you had to take care of your emotions. You're defending your emotional body. I do perceive that that is something you have acknowledged around this wound, and makes sense because you are trying to understand how to be more expressive, how to be true in your expressions, not compromise your expressions, and at the same time be present for somebody else, but from a place of a fulfilled energy, is what I'm receiving with the Nine of Cups here. So while there is defensiveness, there is also the awareness of filling your own cup before pouring into someone else's. So I do perceive that you are very close to embodying this chapter. It's not just a concept for you, it's not something that you've heard or a belief that you know of. This is more so, I would say, not just know, it's not like a belief that you've heard of, but now it's become it has become an internal knowing for you, and you're very close to embodying this and also getting out of your defenses. Especially with the power card being, I mean, power word being here, I'm also receiving that many of you must have gathered the awareness of the power you have, drawn from these experiences, this internal deep seated power which has increased your resilience against a lot of emotional turmoil as well, is what I'm receiving. So, and it makes sense with the Chariot card because it's about willpower, right? Bringing in the yin and yang together is also what I'm receiving. So I wonder what figurine this is behind this person, because it's somehow reminding me of a bull slash sorry, cow slash wolf. So let me just read this one from the guidebook. Let's see what the guidebook has to say for this. A boat with wheels. So these are the wheels. A boat with wheels rushes through a rough sea. The boat is red, the color of energy. A red glow surrounds the figure in the boat. Above is a mythical beast, part bear, part boar, part wolf. So wolf was there, but it's a boar as well. It signifies our deepest fears, Yeah, unnameable. I didn't know that was a word. Unnameable and wild. The will to continue is what's coming through strongly, and triumph. You have actually been working on overcoming this fear of yours. It's a deep seated fear, because the explanation, the guidebook was talking about fear a lot, and that's where my attention was going, a deep fear. So I do perceive that you've been working strongly on this deep fear of yours, where you don't feel safe enough to express yourself. And with the board's energy, I'm also getting, getting reminded of Pumbaa from The Lion King, and how he did not he feared, or was restraining himself from picking up any fights or fighting any animals. But when it came to his friend going on and conquering or defeating Scar finally, he took that charge, right? And he fought a lot of hyenas, I remember. And it was a spectacle to watch his power being executed. And so power word is coming through here again, and that's what I'm being reminded of. So you've been a lone wolf in a lot of ways, but you're also recognizing the strength you have gathered through this experience, which is fantastic. I do perceive that you are consciously making efforts to get out of the victim mindset with the Eight of Swords here. So now we are going to look at what is it that you could acknowledge that you may not have acknowledged around this wound. The bottom deck energy is Radha, daughter of Wands in the East, which is Page of Wands. Just give me a moment. All right. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and also courage. A lot about courage, standing up for yourself, Seven of Wands. I'm going to read the Wheel of Fortune. For some reason, I'm really getting drawn to do that for this card and specifically this deck. So the term that's standing out to me from the guidebook is grabbing hold of fate and trying to take what life has given to you. So what I do perceive here for pile one is that you may not recognize how much of the power that you have inculcated within yourself through these experiences is something that you can put out into the world, that you can use in the physical world, is what I'm receiving, in a way which can help you take the reins of your own life. You are now strong enough to take the wheel of your own life, pile number one. You might be actually, to be honest, pile one, a lot of you might be underestimating how much healing has happened, because we have wheel with the number 10 and we have 7 here, right? It's reminding me of the star card. So I do perceive that you might underestimate your own confidence, your own resilience in facing life, and how you can stand up for yourself. And it's not just, information that you have that's very, what do you say, baseless or without a strong foundation, rather. That would be a better way to put it. You have a strong foundation here now, because we are going from a 9 to a 10. So that's what you're not recognizing. You may not recognize that there is a completion that is happening, and an embodiment to a level where you can exercise this information into your life, into this physical world, into this reality. You can use this wisdom to stand up for yourself and courageously pursue your own desires and your own life, is what I am getting, especially with Wands energy again coming up with the Page of Wands here. And I am just being drawn to the sweetness of Radha Ma here, and how lovingly she is just looking at, most likely looking at Krishna. Yet what I'm receiving here, oh, okay, so that could be the case, right? You might be hesitant in pursuing romantic connections or partnerships for some of you, and hesitant in recognizing there's so much beauty in life when you open your heart up to adventures, is what I am receiving here. Pile two, sorry, pile one. And what you need to know is that you know how to move forward. And Daughter of Wands in the East. So East reminds me of Archangel Raphael, and he is the archangel of healing. So again, I do perceive that pile one, you may not recognize how far you've come, how much you've healed, and that your presence itself is healing not just to others but to you yourself as well. And specifically in dressing up, in being creative with how you show up in the physical world, because I do feel like for a lot of you that was your creative expression or self expression, which must have been in some way, shape, or form, subdued because of life, because of circumstances growing up. All right. So the next question that we have is the light in you that you may have missed because of this wound, which we sort of have touched upon here. But let's look at what is this light within you that you may not have seen because of this wound. I'm using the Oracle deck Life Changes by Butterfly Oracle cards, and it's about life changes by Doreen Virtue. This is one of the first Oracle decks that I ever got. All right, so the bottom deck energy is volunteer. Hmm. And we have hobbies, healing from the past. Wow. There's such a strong focus on the color yellow if you look at both these cards, and is a lot about the yellow color as well. So solar plexus energy, which is right after the sacral chakra. The seat of our personal power within our body. Hmm. For a lot of you, I do perceive that the light within you that you may not have acknowledged because of this wound is that a lot of these fun activities, artistic capacities that you may have had, or artistic things that you were drawn to, were definitely a major source of healing for you. Some of you, I do perceive that you may have left some form of art form. This could be anything from writing to painting to singing, dancing, anything, sculpting, whatever you did in your pastime. This, for some of you, this could be working on cars in a garage. For some of you, that's what I'm getting, or working on motorbikes, what have you, anything under the sun that was creative for you, that was a strong expression of who you are. It was something you were almost like obsessed with. Of course, that may not be the case. I mean, the level of obsession might differ for everybody, but there was definitely a lot of passion, a lot of release that happened during these activities, and it concretized or made your personal power even more firm within you when you were able to do these activities. And I'm specifically getting that it cleared your crown chakra and your body as a channel more to receive intuition, to receive your own intuition clearly, and to receive information from higher realms, from your higher self, if you do connect with that concept. So that capacity also multiplied a lot. So I do perceive that there is this indication from the universe to tap back into that phenomenal creative energy of yours. And with volunteer, I'm also getting here that we have courage again here. So this is a lot about courage, a lot about expressing yourself, a lot about being at ease with your own power. Pile one. And again, a lot of purple lavender color, which is reminding me of crown chakra again. Excuse me. So I do perceive that you were receiving a lot of information, or you have this capacity, or your energy sensitivity is really high, because of which you can receive a lot of information. And it's only now that you've understood the segregation between what is truly yours and what is that is coming through from somebody else. And with volunteer, I was definitely getting that, especially growing up when you've worked with people, and I'm not getting like directly volunteering, but working with someone just because it felt right to you, or helping somebody because it felt right to you, also has been a strong component in grounding your strengths, especially your third eye energy, third eye, visions, grounding your visions. Yeah. So grounding your visions, or having a more firm hold on your intuition and the visions that you're getting, I do perceive that helping people has helped you ground that into your life, especially growing up is what I'm getting, like adulthood or young adulthood energy. Right. So the next question that we are going to see is, what can you embrace? What can you do to embrace this wound? And I'm going to use the Haindl deck again. So, what is it that pile one can do to embrace this wound? Bottom of the deck is Mother of Stones in the West, which is Mother of Queen of Stones, Queen of Pentacles, Spider Woman. Hmm. We have, oh, let me just see if we can show that on YouTube or not. Nope. The Emperor with number 4. Then we have the Hierophant. Wow, succession. We are going from 4 to 5. So there is succession, there is progress happening for you, pile 1. And we have Krishna. How beautiful is that? We have the Emperor, Hierophant, and the Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands with Krishna here. So you have both the counterparts, Krishna and Radha. What can you do to embrace this wound? I am, getting this analogy of the wisdom of an older person, someone like the Hierophant here, someone who's a sage, but also the wisdom that a child brings in, you know, totally clean slate, a fresh consciousness, and the wonderment or the excitement that that child has about life, because that's what I'm being drawn to with Krishna here, and also Hierophant. Yeah, what you can do is, so what I'm getting reminded of is, because I remember when I was talking about this general theme, for some of you, I do perceive maybe you were, you know asked to not share a lot because your views were childish, or you would, like I mentioned, like you had guilt of being joyful when people around you were not that joyful, or they were in stress. I do perceive that that was your innate strength. It is a wisdom that you have, which is to find the light in the darkest of times, pile one. And that is what you have to remember. It is a mastery that you have come with, or something definitely that you have mastered along your life path until now, for sure. But the Emperor card is about mastery. You have mastered, I would say, like a masculine energy. I do see the feminine energy too coming through with the um Page of Wands, which we had here with Radha, but it's more so that playful, childlike energy, or the energy of a boy child who is very fun loving and a little naughty, because that's what the archetype of Lord Krishna as a youngster was, as a young child, was someone who was naughty, who did have fun or pulled people's legs, but it was all under the umbrella of genuine pure love. It was not malicious at all. It was not at the cost of anybody's well-being. So I'm receiving that that is what you have to embrace here, that you have understood, or you are certainly mastering this lesson of the child divine, and also the wisdom of a crone or something, someone who is a sage. You have the capacity to bring those two together and have a practical and spiritual approach towards life, towards expressing emotions, towards being yourself authentically without harming anyone else. Because what I am receiving here is that you may have doubted if you were coming from a place of love or if you were not, because maybe there was a lot of projections onto you that you being fun and confident is, coming from a place of feeling arrogant or privileged or any of those things. Or maybe even if it's not privilege or arrogance, it's more so ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, kind of an energy must have been projected onto you. But that is a lie. Because I do perceive that with the hierophant here, you have gathered the wisdom, and you have the innate wisdom, rather, the key to understanding life in terms of whenever there is this darkest energy. And although, I mean, it reminds me of what are those called, dandelions. But it's also reminding me of that spark in the dark, that spark of wisdom. And your wisdom is in taking things, so, not taking things. So, what I was about to say is embracing life sincerely, not seriously, and understanding the value of joy, the value of being yourself and being present in the moment. Using your body also is what I'm receiving, being out there in the world, jumping, frolicking, having fun, dancing. That's what I'm receiving here, because Krishna and Radha are about music and dance a lot. So, some of you, this could very well be your suppression of your artistic wow, capacity slash capabilities in music, singing, dancing. Could be anything, of anything in those lines, because that's what I'm getting. And for some of you, I'm definitely getting dressing up. A lot about colors, a lot about fashion, a lot about styling is also coming through. So embrace this wound by knowing that, I would say that you have mastered the key to be present in life no matter what the situation is. That's what I'm receiving, that you have to remind yourself time and again that you came with this innate wisdom, that the key to anything is in the now. It's not about fretting about the past or being anxious about the future. It's more so about being here and regulating your body. Yeah, for some of you, I do perceive that that's the awareness you've come with. You understand that you have to regulate your body to face life's challenges, that you cannot be in flight or fight all the time to actualize a solution. Hmm. And let's see, what is it that, or what would it look like once you embrace this, or embrace the light at the end of the tunnel, which is once you embrace this wound, what is that light at the end of the tunnel? What would it look like? All right, so for this, I am going to use no need to worry. So, doesn't this all add up? That you have the awareness of things working out, you have that innate awareness in some way, shape, or form, that things will always work out. Well, let's see what else needs to come through. What would it look like for pile one? Not going to look at the bottom deck energy. We have romance. Makes sense. Communicate clearly. And we have recovery. So your reading has had that word healing come up multiple times. And I do perceive that that's one of the biggest acknowledgements you have to make here. I mean, acknowledge to yourself that you've had a lot of healing, you've gone through a lot of healing. So trust that that healing will support you, that awareness that you have got from your healing will support your journey forward. Be confident in your own awareness and the wisdom you have gathered, because that's the major theme coming here. And that is how you can embrace this emotional wound and have ease with this. Now I'm just trying to um, place them in the best way possible. Well, this works better. All right. So, yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel is the more you are able to embrace this wound pile number one, the easier it will be for you to pursue romantic connections without the burden of, am I doing this right? Am I expressing myself clearly? Am I expressing enough? Or am I being too rude? I mean, all these questions will become clear because you will start communicating clearly, and especially from your heart center you will be able to embody that joy and share it with the people around you. And if it is specifically about pursuing romantic connections, you will be able to communicate clearly, trust yourself with that. And I do perceive that you will be able to look back at how far you have come and how much you have recovered. You will feel safe in your heart space regardless of the rejection, abandonment, or whatever you have experienced in the past. You will feel safe, is what I'm receiving, and especially in emotionally, emotionally intimate connections, is what I'm receiving here. And we are talking about emotional wounds, so that makes sense, right? So, pile number one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if the reading resonated with you. Thank you again so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Pile number two, if you chose the forgiveness card, this is going to be your reading. All right. I'm going to ring the singing bowl once. All right. So we are going to look into what is the general theme of this wound first with this archetype card deck. Hmm? Not those. All right. We have Angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. Light attribute. The shadow attributes. Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Oh, wow. I wonder if the people who have chosen this pile, you've got wounds associated with spirituality, because that's coming through strongly here. I would like to see, explore this energy a little bit more. So I'm going to use the Haindl tarot. So we have Bridget of Ireland, which is the Page of Cups. So, yeah, that's confirming for me that there has been specifically spiritually, you've been manipulated, is what I'm receiving for some of you. Pile number two, only take if it resonates. Like, this could very well be traditions as well, traditions within the family, or for some of you, this could be associated with religion too, and feeling very restricted with the Four of Pentacles here, very tight in your being, not very relaxed or at ease emotionally. Wow. So So this could be a relationship with a parent figure. For some of you, this could be maybe. So I'm not getting that, so I'm not talking about going to talk about it, but it's more so like family or someone significant in the family. Maybe for some of you, this could be that people in your family followed some particular priest, some mentor, and it did not stick well with you. I do perceive that there's a lot of mental and emotional manipulation that must have happened, and it definitely made you feel restricted. For some of you, I wonder why this is coming through. Although this is Four of Stones and not the Five of Stones, which is the Five of Pentacles, I am also getting that you must have lost a lot of money or resources, you as a family, because of the involvement with this particular person. Only take if it resonates. This is not for everybody, but I'm definitely receiving loss of resources, loss of time, and feeling very small in your expression. So yeah, I do get the energy of a false prophet or a false mentor energy here, and maybe that is why forgiveness is required for you, Parvati. Forgiveness in the sense that it is something that you may want to have so that you feel freer and you're not drowned by what has happened. Because I do perceive that this is, encroaching, boundaries being crossed with a lot of, and it's a combination of blue and white, this ribbon or whatever that is. It looks like a snake, to be honest. And blue and white is again reminding me of air element, the element of our mental plane, thinking, beliefs, thoughts. So, trying to intrude your pure energy, especially pure heart energy, with a lot of mental manipulation and emotional manipulation. So this is really heavy. All right. So, what have you acknowledged around this wound? Let's see. I'm not going to take that, but we have High Priestess. So, again, that priest energy is coming through, right? So this could, with the priestess and angel, this could very well be a feminine figure, not a masculine figure. For some of you, only take what resonates. So this is what you have acknowledged. Let me just check the cards. All right. Wow. We have Father of Swords. Mental and plane energy is coming through quite strongly. We have Father of Swords, which is the King of Swords in the south, with Ra. Powerful energy, highly psychic people. This group, extremely psychic. Some of you might have the capacity to look into past lives. Maybe you receive a lot in your dreams, is also what I'm getting. And we have Justice with number 11. So that's Libra energy. And we have air signs coming here strongly: Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, with Ra, King of Swords energy here. So we have a snake, right? The term that's coming through is master manipulator, whoever this individual was. To put it in simplest of terms, pile two, what I am understanding here is that with these cards, the cards that we have here, they're definitely letting me know that you have acknowledged that there is this thing called divine justice. Like there is the supreme power which is looking at everything, because even the petals of the peacock here, it's reminding me of a superior energy. You may call it source, God, whoever, or even if it's an angel who is overseeing your life, guarding you, your ancestors. Like these are multiple eyes looking out for you, taking care of you, helping you keep your individuality intact and balanced. There's a very strong energy of protection here, of karma, the scales of karma. So I do perceive that while too you have come to a very clear cut understanding with the King of Swords also, that there is this thing called spiritual and divine protection, because you've received and seen protection play out in your life, which could not be explained in any other way, is what I'm receiving here for you, pile two. What is it that you could acknowledge that you have not? We have Three of Swords, morning, at the bottom of the deck. Oh, let me just again. So we have Mother of Wands in the East. Cannot show this card because of YouTube guidelines. That's Queen of Wands, and it's a potent, powerful energy, because we have Kali Ma and her conquering, not conquering, but this is definitely the wisdom in darkness, and how it helps you see something or things that people may not show upfront. And we have the Moon card. Yeah, a lot of divine feminine energy, extremely powerful divine feminine energy. I would say almost to the level of scary, because Kalima is that potent, powerful energy. And even the moon here, this moon card, definitely is coming up, or sorry, showing me this energy of fear and doubts a lot more than a regular moon card, to be honest, or the moon cards that I have seen. Just a moment. I'm going to read this one from the guidebook for the card of Queen of Wands. I immediately opened up to the Wands page. How wonderful. So we have these. Yeah, okay. So the Mother of Wands is Queen of Wands. Yeah. I'm going to read this entirely. Kali's main color is black for non being, nothingness, and in that sense, it's about non being. She wears a moon crown and has 6 limbs, the number of the lovers. Wow. She is copulating with a dead Shiva, her consort. So it's again reminding me of that Egyptian energy as well, Isis and Osiris. A snake winds around Shiva. Kali looms up huge in the sky, her feet on the earth. Divinatory meanings: a wild female energy, dark power, sexual energy. So, a lot of you, I do perceive that you have gone through deep spiritual attacks, or you've seen it happen or play out in your life, or someone close to you for sure, because it's very prominent here. So again, the moon is, because the lobster here is sort of fearful, which is the first time I've seen a representation like that, which is interesting. So it is, and this one is actually a unicorn, not a wolf. We don't have wolves in this moon card. So it's talking about illusions, fears, doubts again. So a lot of work for this pile has been in the ethers, in the etheric realm, a lot in the dream state. For some of you, very few of you, only take if it resonates. I do perceive that you have seen possessions, people being possessed by spirits happen, and not in a way that was helpful at all. This pile, what you need to acknowledge about your emotional wound here is that you do draw a lot of power from your shadows. Wow, we have three of swords, and right beneath that we have the four of swords, ace of cups, ace of stones, three of swords, and the truce card, which is the four of swords. It's about healing and resting. So what I'm receiving here is that you may see it in a negative light, is what I'm receiving. This strength that you have in your shadows, whereas it helps you see reality and not be delusional. You are very good at, understanding what is truly happening in a situation, and especially in situations which are made up with, a lot of wow, seven of wands could be your energy, where you are defensive as to, am I doing this right or not? But it's more so that you have the discernment in terms of understanding within the seven of cups which is the truth, which path is true for you, which is the truth for you, which is the truth of the situation you are in. And many a times it will be a bittersweet awareness or a difficult pill to swallow. So you may see this darkness within you, this shadow within you in a negative light, but what you may not realize is it leads to progress in your life, and it is leading to a lot of healing, especially with the Ace of Cups being followed by the Four of Swords. It's healing of the essence of divine and true love. Pile number two. Love that is so pure, so divine that you may not even be able to describe it in the physical reality, and even with words. What you have to acknowledge about this emotional wound is that pile number one, your Queen of Wands energy, your awareness that is so spiritual, is one of your biggest strengths, and it helps you identify things. I was getting the word like, I mean, not even things, but I was getting the word shit. So it definitely helps you clarify the energy a lot, and declutter the energy field of those around you, and especially yours as well. I'm specifically getting for people around you. You're able to see the truth, you are able to pierce through the veils of lies, veils of illusions, even veils of magic, is what I'm receiving for some of you. You're that potent spiritually. So this is definitely very different, totally different reading, and a very different level of power is what I'm receiving here, which you may be hesitant to acknowledge. The light in you that you may have missed because of this wound. Let's see what that is. I'm going to use this deck here, which is Butterfly Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Yeah, family changes at the bottom of the deck. So, again, about family. All right. Emotions. How sync is it in? We have a lot of things here. We have pink in the angel card itself, even in forgiveness. And then we have sentimental feelings. Like I said, you are very good at understanding people who manipulate, especially emotionally. And you may see your emotions as your weakness, but it is actually one of your biggest strengths, and a strength in having a very clear view about what's happening. What is the truth here? You're able to identify that. Pile number two, and that is your strength. You might be the truth teller in your family who was definitely shunned a lot. And so you kept to yourself. You did not even show this, because the amount of love, I wouldn't even say the amount of love, it's the kind of love that you have in your heart. It's again being represented for me in these pink flowers. I don't know if these are camellias or pink roses, correct me if I'm wrong, but these pink flowers, it's reminding me of really divine, you know innocent, pure love that is devoid of any malicious intent. I hope that I use that word correctly. Let me just check. Yeah, that's the correct usage. But exactly that. And for many of you, I do perceive that this truth teller energy within you, or just spiritual stuff that has happened within your life growing up, definitely, triggered a lot of changes within the family. And even though these were changes with the Three of Swords here that may not have been the ones that you expected, but know that you were being led to a more healed or healing path, especially for your highest good. And I do perceive that a lot of you could express a lot through writing, is what I'm receiving, expressing your emotions through writing, and also transmuting this emotional wound through writing. Let's see. So this is the light within you, by the way. I just wanted to confirm that again. With the emotions and sentimental feelings, your emotions are one of your biggest guides in recognizing the truth of the situation. Pile number 2. So embrace this awareness that you have, which may have been shunned or ridiculed, or even trigger warning for some of you, it may have been abused as well growing up. Excuse me. But please embrace the strength. Your emotions itself are your biggest strength, pile 2. Understand them, see the strength in them. Ask yourself the question, whenever intense emotions show up, what is it telling me? Build that habit, because it is definitely going to give you a lot of clarity, even if in a way that may not be the most wanted one or the most favorable one as per you, but it will help you move forward to a more healed place. And it will help you protect your love, is also what I'm receiving. Your soul, the love that you have within you, which is so pure, it's going to help you protect that. Now we are going to look at how can you embrace this wound. We have Four of Swords again. How can you embrace it? We have Seven of Swords and White Buffalo Woman, which is Princess of Stones, which is Page of Pentacles. Seven of Swords is all about, so it is here, it says uselessness, but Seven of Swords is about deceit. Hmm. You see how there's a face that's so weird and distorted, and it's probably not just one face as well. Yeah, you are able to look beyond people's masks. Pile 2 and Page of Pentacles. So for many of you, I do wish to say that this is like a natural gift you've been born with. Pile number 2, only take what resonates, but there is this natural affinity towards finding out the truth, towards, I am also getting like justice with with the justice card. I'm also again getting, there's a specific trigger that just switches on within you when there is injustice happening around you, especially in terms of people trying to intimidate someone else into doing what is right, rather than doing it from a place of love and awareness and not giving information. So higher figures or authority figures, or someone who is like an authority figure, manipulating others on the basis of fear. You have the capacity to decipher what is the truth and what's coming from a place of fear mongering. It's a natural gift, and you're very Look at the face of this woman. She is clear. She is, you know, very firm in her beliefs. She knows what works, what doesn't work, and she can see the truth for what it is. And she's not lost in la la land, is what I'm receiving, or not even lost in overwhelming emotions of confusion, betrayal, or whatever it is. You can see that she is very clear about where she needs to move forward or where she's heading. So, to embrace this wound, what I'm receiving here is pile number two. Even though, I mean, I don't even want to use the word even though, it's because the journey has been really extremely heavily toxic in its energy for sure and deeply impactful. Yet, what you can do to embrace this is to root your awareness of finding out or root your strength of finding out the truth into this reality and use it as a strategy to move forward in life with clarity, to move forward in life with a plan. That is how you can draw strength and awareness from this wound and not let it affect your relationships going forward. Uh, this is more so like strategizing your awareness, grounding it, and then making choices. That's how it's going to be easier for you to embrace this wound. And with the buffalo energy here, take your time and be adamant, is also what I'm receiving here. Be adamant till you find more proof or more awareness. I'm not saying be stuck or be stubborn. Be open to awareness for sure. Always be open to more knowledge. Be open to receiving more wisdom. Yet be firm and stand strong with the white buffalo woman here. That's what I'm receiving. And I'm also receiving a lot of shamanic energy for this pile. Maybe shamanic healing for some of you would be very helpful because you are very deeply, extremely deeply spiritual. Uselessness, sums it up very clearly. You are skilled enough to understand what is useful information and what is not. So take that awareness forward with you and chart your course on the basis of the awareness that you keep getting. Don't be deterred by fear mongering tactics, which I'm sure has been a lesson, but embracing this awareness, embracing whatever happened as a big lesson in understanding whom to give your love, where to give your love, how much to give it, how much you can be there for somebody else, and how can you help people without losing sight of your own well being. Because, like I said, I get a very innocent, loving energy here. Someone who really wants to take care of people is something that's coming through. And because you may have found some proof growing up with this individual, whoever it was who was guiding the family. Of course, I mentioned that this is not the case for everybody, but whoever was this energy who was supposed to take care of you, but they manipulated you or the people around you and caused a loss of resources in some way, shape, or form. That had to happen is the kind of message I'm receiving here. Of course, I'm not condoning anyone's behavior, please do understand that, but it had to happen in that way so that you could become extremely astute in understanding how emotions work, because it's your biggest strength. So you are very well equipped in understanding emotions and not just ignoring them, embracing them. I'm By ignoring, I mean it's not about rationalizing your emotions. You are now much more equipped to let the emotions flow through you and not solidify them as a basis for any major life changes or decisions. And the more you practice that, the easier it will be for you to ease into this wound and embrace this wound and make it one of your biggest strengths. Pile number two. So let's see what would it look like once you embrace this wound. What would be the light at the end of the tunnel once you embrace this wound? It could be one of the possibilities. All right. Success. We have that at the bottom of the deck. Then we have abundance. So I was talking about resources, right, and money with the Four of Pentacles. We have ask your angels, and then we have it's up to you. What I'm receiving here is that pile number two, there will be, I feel like there will be an openness in your energy field and awareness within you where once you've embraced this wound, that success is inevitable and you will become a lot more positive and life giving in your energy towards yourself, also, not just for others, but also towards yourself. And I do perceive that your connection with the other realm, if you do believe in that, or highest, your high self, angels, if you do connect with them, you're definitely going to have a stronger connection with them and you will receive your it's not just the information being received, you will see these things play out quite strongly too. And um, in the sense that you will be able to, you know, take the next step. It's not just receiving of the information, you'll be able to create on the basis of that information. And there will be this stoic or a stable foundation within you about abundance, about not being in the energy of loss, but more so being in the energy of abundance. And from there, you would be in this mindset of anything and everything is possible, and in a very positive way. And specifically about having success, for some of you, this very well could be career success. And with it's up to you, what I'm receiving is you will begin writing your own destiny in a way, is what I'm receiving. You will be creating your life more on the basis of choices that you would want to make rather than under the influence of will it suit other people around me, will it be accepted by society, accepted by people that you care for. That's what I'm receiving. You will be living life essentially on your own terms, even more than you are doing today. And with forgiveness, I do perceive that this is a message from the universe wherein you are being prompted to practice forgiveness so that it unties you from the chains of pain or anything that has been holding you back. And I, maybe it is the representation, but I'm definitely getting reminded of Kuan Yin, um, the mother Kuan Yin, mother goddess, and she is all about forgiveness and compassion. But don't let that fool you into thinking that she's not fierce. She is fierce, but she has a deep sense of compassion and love as well. So connecting with her energy might be helpful for you to practice forgiveness and compassion even towards yourself and the people that may be involved, so that you move forward. It's not about belittling your wounds or making what they did as something that was right to do. It's not about that. It's about you being open in your heart center and operating your from your pure heart energy more, moving forward and trusting that even that innocent love has a lot of power, trusting that you know where to channel that energy. So pile number two, that's all that I have for you. Thank you again so much for joining. Well, I did not say thank you before, but thank you, and thank you again for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if the reading resonated with you, and if you haven't already. Thank you again for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.